Hello everyone. I am here to show you the main one. This one's a really fun one because you can do kind of like an ombre sunset with this. So when you sign up, you're gonna sign up for 4 colors. One of those colors you want to be your background color. So I'll probably add in a black or white anyway. For this one, I'm gonna do black. I think these colors will really pop on that. It would look good on white too. So to start, we're gonna paint our background with this. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and just paint it. I just rub it in like that. You can do a couple coats if you want. Okay, I just did 1 coat of mine because I am going to sand it. If you do 2 coats, you're still gonna wanna do a sand. The reason is it's gonna really help the stencil stick better, and it's gonna get rid of any little streaky lines. But actually, I'm gonna sand mine quite a bit because I kind of like that distressed look on the background. So how you can do that is you can get some off the sides. You can get a little bit of that grain to come through if you like this look. Otherwise, you can definitely just leave it solid. So I've sanded mine down. Mine's pretty rustic. I got the background how I like it. It's almost kind of like a chalkboard, which is cool. If you sand it and you don't like it, then you can just paint back over it. But you do want to do a light sand anyway before you do the stencil. So next step, when this is completely dry and sanded and how you like it, you are going to peel the white away. You will notice like in the middle of the E, there's going to be little tiny little pieces like that. Those all need to stay down because those are important little pieces. Okay. Then it's going to fit right on your square. So that's the way you know it's straight and where it needs to go. Then you can rub it down. You can use a credit card if you want, but it should be okay with your hands, okay? Then you peel the top layer, the clear tape comes off. When the tape comes off, be really mindful of those little things. Those need to stay down. Any little blue pieces that want to pop up on you, just push them back down. If you're doing the main one and you see some pieces that didn't come out, don't really worry about those because those were just part of the trees. All right, next up, the Mod Podge is going to be labeled MP, so people don't confuse it with white. And then you're going to Mod Podge the whole state of Maine. Be really careful because it does come close to the edge and you don't want to go over the edge, so just stay right in the middle of Maine. And that's actually too heavy, so you can spread that out. You just need one really light and even coat. While Mod Podge is drying, you can take the tape that you peeled off and just go above the top, just so as you're putting the paint on, you don't worry about going onto your board. So if you want to do that, you can. Everywhere else should be okay. You really want to make sure that the Mod Podge is completely dry before you start painting. Usually you want this, by the time you get down here, that should be dry. So we're gonna go ahead, and you could probably cut that too if you wanted to. So I use my paper there because I'm gonna dab off on it. So we're gonna start, we're gonna start with the blue and work our way down to the green. And this is how we're gonna ombre. So you're gonna dip in. That's gonna be way too heavy to go on. The way to get the best ombre is to have really light coats. So let's do, so dab off on the paper, get most of it off. So we'll go that much on the blue. You're gonna do multiple coats of this. So the first coat is not gonna look the best. And then skip a space. And then do your middle section. We'll do maybe a little more. And then skip another space. And I'll show you why in just a minute. And then you can do the home any color you want. I'm going to do it the color that's down here, so the ombre goes down through the whole design. Okay. Now why we did those little skip spaces is because you are going to go and mix these two colors on your paper. You really don't need a lot, so just dab a little bit of that, dab a little bit of that, and that's gonna be like your transition color, so like your in-between color. Then you'll need a transition color there and there, so you just take that and just dip it in a little bit of blue or whatever color you're doing. I always dip off just to make sure it's blended, and then you'll transition that line, and then you'll get your other sponge and add a little more of the green or the teal, and then that's your other transition color. This is just the first coat, so it's not gonna look great. And then you'll mix these two together. So a little bit of that. And then I have some over here already on it. You really don't need a lot. And then this is, you can kind of play with it if you think it needs a little more. So the rest of this video is going to be just doing another coat and just keep dabbing and adding some colors to transition them. And getting another sponge too. So I'm gonna speed up the video and show you how to do the second coat on this for the next part. So you can keep going over it and over it until you like it. So even if you wanted to add the blue, if you wanted the blue to go down a little further, you can just keep playing. The key is going to be the lightest coats. The lighter the coat, the better. You don't want any extra paint on there. Even getting a dry one and just dabbing some of it off. If paint starts to pick up, it might be because the paint is still too wet, so it's picking up instead of depositing. If and that happens, you can always just let it dry for a minute and then keep going. So when you think you like it and you like the way it looks, then it's time to peel. It probably will come off on pieces and some won't come up, so that's okay, because in your kit you're gonna have this little safety pin and that's gonna help you pick out those pieces that didn't come up. So we almost have all the trees out, and then we can come in and get the little pieces out of the home. You can just stab it. Even if you stab too far, you still have that black paint. So you can always dip your pin in and fill in your little stab marks if you had any. So that's it. At this point, you're all done. If you wanted to, when it was dry, you could do a light sand, but I kind of like the contrast of the boldness against that kind of chalkboardy background. So there you go.